This message is being picked up by my laptop. I'm not going to come on screen right now. I'm not comfortable with doing so. Hopefully, this is picking up my voice from my laptop. This will be just a part one, and if everything goes well, this records. I'm actually going to record it on my phone as a backup right now, so that if the volume of my voice is not well, I'll just upload the version that I'm recording on my phone. Since I've heard about the suicides and the unaliving of two people who have notoriety and visibility within the Black community, those two people being Cheslie Kryst and Ian Alexander. I have not been able to get them off of my mind. Um, it is really hard right now. Um, we are, 10 days into Black History Month. If we really want to be real about it, there's so much conversation that needs to happen amongst Black people, specifically people who are descendants of, enslaved peoples, people who have lived a Black experience, an African American experience, who have lived through hardships, who have lived in communities that are decrepit, who have lived as underprivileged, underrepresented minorities who have been marginalized. There are so many conversations that seriously need to happen that are not happening right now, even in the wake of more and more young people and Black people of all ages deciding that they've had enough of this existence and they're ready to see what's on the other side of it. Um, as someone who is struggling with my mental health in a way that I have not before in my life. I am in my mid 30s at this point. Um, I'm going to hold off on giving my personal story, but I will say that I have struggled with levels of depression and anxiety since I was 14 years old, even before that, actually. The first emotion that I can recall was being 5 years old when grew up in Christianity and understanding that Jesus sacrificed his life for us and feeling guilt. That was the first emotion that I was truly interested that I internalized was guilt, and that was at 5 years old. There is and my sweet potato just went off because I'm trying to feed myself because it's even hard some days to get up and wanna eat. It's hard to get up and wanna eat some days, to eat and then to eat health. Like, I've had so many changes happen over the past year and a half that even me as someone who has been through the ringer, I've been an unhoused person before, I've lived out of my car. I'm almost back there, to be quite honest, after graduating from an Ivy League, institution for a graduate degree. And I know no degree guarantees you a job, but if I drop the name of where I went and tell everyone that I'm searching for work, people will be surprised. But I went in there as a non-traditional student. I was looked down on by other students and by professors, judged harshly. People don't have to say it out loud. I'm very intuitive with how people treat me versus how they treat other people. And I can put two and two together. I can connect dots and understand what's going on. And when I went to an Ivy League institution that really tried my mental health in a way that even being unhoused before mental health the way this did. And so I just wanted to get here and speak out because I really seriously think that there is a conversation that needs to be had about mental health, about seeking out services, about being able to lean into other people when we are struggling. People need to understand that when folks are in a place of mental unwellness, when people are contemplating taking their own lives, they are not trying to hurt you. They're not trying to hurt their loved ones. There is an immense pain that is unescapable. And we, as human beings, have the foresight to understand that if we have a beloved animal who is suffering, we have no qualms about having our dear beloved, dogs or cats or any of those companion animals put down if they're suffering and they don't have any semblance of getting better, but we don't have that same type of compassion and that same extension of understanding when it comes to our own when it comes to other human beings. We expect people to just live with the taboo of suicidal ideation and to figure out a way to get through it. One thing that brings all of this is people action faking and saying, "Hey, call this national suicide hotline number." And I'm asking it for anyone who has shared that national suicide hotline. Have you ever called that number? Because I can tell you personally, I've called that number and I was left off worse than before I called it. I wish I didn't even call because the people who I talked to were not helpful. And I understand that they are sometimes volunteers, which is beautiful. Thank you for volunteering. But that within itself says to me that that you might not get the level of trained response that is necessary when you're dealing with somebody who is in a mental health crisis. What drives a person to even go into a mental health crisis? Let's pull back and ask ourselves what drives a person to lead into a mental health crisis. Let's take Chris for example. This story hit me so hard, and I didn't know this person. I didn't know this person. I didn't know of her work. I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't watch beauty pageants. I just hadn't come across her. I don't use a lot of social media. I hadn't come across her before. But when I heard about what happened to her, I was like, "What is going on?" She's in New York City, which is a hard city. It's a very hard city. I because New York is just not